This is the big question everybody is wondering. Is AI going to take away my job? Is it going to take away my business? Or more importantly, is it going to take away my clients? And today we have the answer for you on Iconic TV. We're going to really dive into what is the impact of AI going to have on your business, not only right now, but down the road. Are you even in the right business based on the growth of AI and how it can affect you? These are all important topics that we want to talk about today. And we're going to dive in real quick and talk about how could it be that AI is stealing your clients? And if you were worried about your competition, there's a whole new player in the game, and that is AI. We're going to talk about how can you get around this? How can you actually make sure that you're going to stay ahead of the curve with all this rapidly changing technology? And you've seen it, right? And maybe you've seen some of the other things that are happening. A lot of people are actually saying now that they're transitioning their whole business model into AI, becoming an AI expert. And there's so many of them coming on the scenes right now. But the question is it really that they're an expert, or are they just shifting again? Were they also in another thing 2 years ago and something else 2 years before that and something else 2 years before that? Have they just not figured out how to do their business? They thought, I should just jump on this? Or is it a real thing? Is it smart to dive into that and make that your business? That question is up to you. We're going to talk about the number one distinguishing factor on whether AI is going to impact you, your business, and your clients in just a minute. But let's go ahead and get started on this topic. I think you're going to love this. I want you to take some notes. And if you are new here, please subscribe to our channel or wherever you're watching. And I have a special AI gift for you today. I will put it in the comments after the show, and it will show you how to make sure that you can hang on to your clients even in the face of all this competition, some human and some not. So let's go ahead and look at this, because this is really important. How is it just kind of sneaking up on you and taking away your clients? Can we save them? Can we get them back? That's what we really want to talk about. The fact is that AI isn't coming. It is already here. And so many people are ignoring it, or they're waiting. They're thinking, maybe I can do this later. Maybe I'll check into it in a little bit. I'm a little bit busy, or I'm going to watch and see what everyone else is doing, and then I'm going to jump in. Well, that might be your downfall. So AI is actually disrupting industries faster than most people realize. Every few months, there's a new report that comes out that says, oh my goodness, all the experts are saying, like the real experts, the people who are building these platforms are saying it's growing so much faster than we anticipated. And how do we keep up with that? It's really hard as a business owner. And whether you are somebody with a brick and mortar business, or you have a coaching consulting business, maybe you're just getting started, maybe you're in a startup and you're launching a new product or industry, all of these are real important to think about. How is this going to disrupt? Okay. And how is AI really stealing your clients? What's happening here? And the thing is, it's happening right under our noses, right? They're tapping into our own vault and taking them right out from under us. And that's what we have to protect. You see, the old days of a handshake is no longer enough. You used to be able to say, hey, my word is my bond, that's it, or I'm going to be with you for a life. Well, that might be the life of a product, or it might just be a few months. The life cycle of your clients is shortening right now. And the whole goal in business is to extend it, to have them with you for years and years and years. But if they are so fickle and they're getting caught up in the shiny object syndrome, it doesn't happen to us, of course, but maybe it's happening to your clients. And that is why you're starting to lose them. People are luring them with these, little lures of, hey, candy little girl. And they're trying to get them to just take a little bite, a little taste. Oh, just try this one little piece of AI in your business. That's not the goal of that person. Their goal is to get them with a little bit and then get a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And they're pulling that rope and pulling that rope. And soon your clients are completely gone. You didn't even realize it happened to you. This is dangerous territory. And, the question is, how are you being replaced? As a consultant and a business owner, people can easily say, oh, I don't need you anymore, right? I found it online, or I found it in a book, or I Googled it. Why would I need a mentor? Why would I need that? Well, how are you being replaced? And is it true? I'm going to show you some things that are going to absolutely blow your mind about the truth of this, because people think, I got this, I can do it on my own. We are in an information society. The customer journey is about information. They need information first before they're going to act on anything. And are you trying to be the information provider? If you are going to be replaced. And if you're doing cookie cutter models, you are going to be replaced. You have to look at how easy is it for a machine to duplicate what I'm doing, and how many other people are doing what I'm doing. Okay. These are things you have to start asking yourself. You have to start understanding who your audience is a lot better. Because if you don't know what their real problem is, what their real pains are, what keeps them up at night and makes them really worried, what is the real thing that they want? They might be in business saying they want to grow a business, but what do they really want? And when you can figure these things out, then you can start making sure you are irreplaceable. So what kind of businesses can be replaced? Some manual things can be replaced. I'm looking forward to this, when I can have an AI robot in my house and do all my house cleaning for me. That's awesome. But how many industries does that wipe out? I already have a electronic vacuum cleaner, thanks to a wonderful birthday gift. But what else could be replaced? People think, oh, well, that's, a services industry. AI can't come into that. Well, it did, right? It can also come into your Starbucks. That could be replaced, which is interesting because, right, Starbucks is all about the experience. Would you still go to your Starbucks and hang out if it was just machines and robots behind the counter? Um, I don't know. Will they still write on your cup and write your name on the cup? We'll see. And what type of industries are you in that might be automated and sort of a assembly line type of thing, right? Look at what Amazon did. Largest company, largest employer, and they are replacing people like that. It was part of their intention from the get-go to get the systems and then create the robots to take over what the people have done, right? To know exactly what the process is, and then you override that. So it's very difficult to think, who wouldn't be replaced? Pilots? I don't know. Who would you rather have? A tired pilot or AI? Doctors are being replaced. Attorneys are being replaced. Even these positions and jobs that took a lot of education and a lot of effort to get there are being replaced. So you really got to think about, am I being different in any way? And then the other question is, there's so many things out there, but are we being lied to? Is it really that good? Is it something that we should follow? Should we do it now? Should we pull back? Should we dive all in? Do we listen to the people that are telling us we need all of this in our system, that we don't have to do anything now? We can even let go of our assistants and we can have agents doing everything for us. Is that the truth? Is that the best way to run a business? Or are we being lied to again? So let's talk about this. This is important. I want you to, if you can, go ahead and screenshot this. And I'm going to have this so you can see this, okay? Take a look at this. What are people saying? What are they thinking? And if you look at this, social media misinformation, 86% of people in the world online report that they're being exposed to fake news. 86%, no, this stuff is fake, okay? And up to 66% of bots were discussing fake news during the pandemic. It wasn't even people. 40% of medical videos on TikTok, how many of you love your TikToks, contain misinformation? 40%. 67% of people report fake news on Facebook. I know some of you are going, duh, of course. It's on YouTube too. I just don't have those stats. It took me a while to get the statistics here. 66% of US consumers believe that more than 76% of the news is biased. And 36% of people are unaware that online content might even be false. They don't even know, oh, it could be false. It might not be true. What do you think? Do you feel that what you're being fed in the online world, on social media, etc., in the newspapers, on TV, do you believe it's biased? And then do you wonder, well, how much then of this is true? Or how long is this going to go? Is this a movement or is it a fad? See, the important thing is to be informed. And while it's tempting to stick your head in the sand and say, God, there's just too much. There's so much going on, and I can't really understand it all. But you do have to be informed if you want to move forward. See, some people are just going to sort of cop out. They're going to pull back and I'll just do enough to get by, enough to cover my nut. But that's not living, right? We are creatures of growth, right? And we are actually born and built to continue to evolve and grow and expand and learn. And if you're just doing things so you can go back into a comfort zone, you're going to end up being very unhappy. And happiness and joy is really what life is about. So does it make sense to build your life around doing less and nothing? Not really, unless that frees you to go expand in some other way. We're here to grow, right? To come full circle to what we're here as our purpose and our mission to be. So we have to be well informed. And I want you to take a look at the cost of not being well informed, right? What if you don't even know if you're being deceived or not, right? Part of the problem is that there are detection challenges and people can't even tell when they're being lied to. Has that ever happened to you? I know it's happened to me way too many times. It's like, wow, I thought they were so serious, but they're just Academy Award winning performers. Well, how do we know when AI is real or not? You know how it says at the bottom of every time you go into one of the platforms, it says AI can make mistakes and be careful and check, right? Well, who's checking? Are we checking or are we kind of just going with it? It sounds good. How do we know it? It sounds good if we're believing that 76% of what we see is probably biased. So let's take a look at these deception factors. It's important because 69% of adults say that they're confident that they can identify misinformation. Like, I know, I can tell when it shows up, right? 69% of us say that we kind of know. But only 22% of those people actually could correctly identify, the genuine post without mistakes. Like, we thought most of it we'd know. We hardly even got a quarter of it right. And 6% of internet users believe that everything, 36%, excuse me, 36% of internet users believe everything that they see online is true, right? More than a third of the people think everything is true because it's online. One of my mentors, Dr. David Hawkins, wrote a fabulous book called Truth versus Falsehood. Dr. David Hawkins, MD, PhD, look him up. He's fabulous. And in Truth versus Falsehood, they used applied kinesiology to test whether things are true or false. And I highly recommend that you do that. We do that for our clients. And if they're like, I have this great idea, I'm like, well, let's test it, right? That's what you want to be able to do. How do you know with certainty that something is good? Not just because it's expedient and it's easier, but how do you know it's the right way to go? That's really the big challenge that we're having with AI. And 60% of businesses are integrating AI right now, according to Harvard Business Review. So people are starting to get on the bandwagon, but individuals are not so much doing it. It still has a long way to grow in order for everybody to start using it. You know how Bill Gates said he wanted a PC on everybody's desk and everybody's home. Well, how long will it be until AI is integrated into everyone's home? Put your guess down below, okay? Now, we're going to dive a lot deeper into more of these topics in the coming weeks because this is going to be part of a series and a theme that we're doing. And if you want the free gift that we have for you today, all you have to do is type freebie down below and you can go ahead and get that. Or you can go to conniescavella.com/free gift and we will get that to you right away. So businesses are using this. Why should you, right? This brings us to that fork in the road, right? It's that dividing line. Should I or shouldn't I? Should I wait and be careful and smart, or should I dive in now and be an early adopter and ahead of the curve, right? Which one are you? Some people are using it right now so that they can leverage it. Other people are lacking AI. And what is it going to cost them? It's going to cost them clients, cash flow, market positioning, profits. But if you're leveraging it now, you have the ability to use more automation, to scale, to dominate your market. So, how long you stand at that fork in the road is going to determine how full you're going to be. So, what do you do when you come up to this fork? Okay. This is the SOAR formula that we always talk about. This is how we grow and scale businesses from 6 to 7 figures profit in a year or less. And every letter, SOAR, is an acronym that we can apply to different aspects of your business. So when we're looking at AI, what you have to determine if you're going to be using this for your clients, or if you're going to have somebody use it for you, we look at this as well, because we are very aggressive on implementing AI strategies with our clients and they love it. There's so much more that we can take off their plate this way so that they can focus on their one zone of genius. Now, so we want to look at the strategy. AI is great, but if you don't have a strategy, you're lost, right? And AI doesn't always have the ability to get you the strategy. I tested this all weekend trying to get it to give me different strategies, but some of them, and for me and for my clients, just to test and see what it came up with. But without enough knowledge, it didn't know how to give the right strategy. And it took some people would have followed down a wrong path. And then you have to have objectivity to really see, like, okay, based on any scenario or this scenario, right? And how is it that that input, right? Each AI platform has a different structure underneath it on what they go by. Like Grok is different from Claude, from ChatGPT. They're all changing, right? Anything LLM is a new thing that you can get as an LLM. Put it on your desktop and it's not going to share information. See, you have to understand. Remember how we showed so much of the internet as false? Imagine how much input into the AI platforms is false. And people are putting in false things and saying AI can learn off of it. But if it's learning off false material, guess what you're going to get in, right? Garbage in, garbage out. So you have to be really careful. And then accountability. People need accountability. AI is not going to give you accountability, right? Some people say, oh, I can do that. Now, we built an accountability app for our clients. If you want it, go to theiconicmind.com. I'll put it down in the notes, theiconicmind.com. And it's your accountability buddy. Every day checking, how did you do? What are you working on? Are you moving towards your goals? Because not everybody can afford to work with us, but they still need that accountability. And that's why we took advantage of that. And why do I say that this is good? Because if you have extra connection, right? But what our app is called Tim, the Iconic Mind. And what Tim does is he doesn't communicate out with the other AI platforms, but we input all of our systems and all our knowledge and all our strategic processes and principles, as well as our AI software, all goes into that. So now you have a pristine environment where you can tap into AI. That's how you're going to use this to your benefit. I hope that makes sense. And then research. AI can do a lot of the research for you. But the question is, what are you researching? Do you know that it's the right thing? Let me give you an idea. So some of you know my book, Soar, the foundation of that is that it was based on, it's this book here, right? Is based on my near-death experience when I actually died, floated above my body, went through the tunnel, had this tremendous experience. And what happened is when I was on that other side, I encountered what I call the beings of light, and just pure intelligence, love, grace. I mean, just mind boggling. If you want a copy of the book, just ask me for it. I'll give you a free copy. And you can also get it on Amazon. But what happened was when I encountered this level of intelligence, I was in this environment where I was like, I could think something and the answer would come right back. And it was a higher level answer than I knew. And based on the feedback I got, I could ask more intelligent questions. And then bigger information came back, which opened me up even more to ask even more intelligent questions. And my mind was like blown, right? And so I had infinite knowledge. And in the space of no time, right? There was no gap between having a thought and getting the answer back. It was absolutely miraculous. And when you have an experience like that, it just opens you up to so much. Why do I tell you this? Because when I talk about the research, right? You have to know the questions to ask in order to tap into that research. So if the source is not enlightening you, you're not going to learn higher questions to ask. And so this is why you need still people, right? People like us and consultants and my team, because we understand what to ask. We understand and we do the research constantly to make sure you're going in the right direction. But you can't just take the word on the street and what you hear. You have to make sure that it's the right information that you need for where you are going. Okay. So that's SOAR, SOAR. And so, how do we level the playing field? How do we make sure that we can play in this game of AI and still stay ahead of our competition? How do we play fairly with AI, but also not go too far on the deep end and only be AI specialist? Because then what they're doing is just playing whack-a-mole with the latest AI tools that are coming out. But are they actually building anything? Are they actually constructing and using strategies to grow people's businesses? Or are they just looking for automation and efficiency based on what comes up? So a lot of times you lose the ability to think, right? Remember how we used to have to do math in our head and remember phone numbers, and now we don't. Okay. Does that free up more space? In some ways, yes. But we want to level this playing field. How do you do it? And this is the seven-figure CEO formula. This is what we do with all of our clients. And I want you to understand this is this 4D model, right? It's dimensional. So when you're thinking, how do I work with AI? Yes, you have to be distinguished, and it can help you do that. Oops, I missed one there. The second layer is disruption. Okay. How do you create some disruption? That's where AI is going to come in handy for you in that second level of disruption. Then from that level, when you can disrupt the market and you can get all eyes on you, like, wow, that's different. That's new. That's exciting, right? People just want new, exciting, they do want that shiny object. So we have to give them a little bit of that. Okay. Then you can dominate, right? Especially if you're one of the first to market. And then now that you have your system down, you can duplicate this, and you can duplicate it then with AI, because now you can just clone, right? It's like writing an SOP for your company. We do this all the time. We always say in your business, if you're doing something 3 times, then you need an SOP for that, so that you're not wasting time doing repetitive tasks. And if somebody leaves or is on vacation, they can just take the SOP and look at it and do it. You can duplicate them. You want to duplicate then on greater and greater levels as you grow your company. And then you can duplicate internally, externally, vertically, right? So that is what you have to understand. That aligns with the SOAR formula. So, what are the top 3 concerns that people have about AI? Well, AI is going to replace me or my expertise. Is it true? No, not really. Not unless you are not continuing to grow, right? So people worry about that, but it's not something you really have to worry about. A lot of people also say, I don't know where to start with this. Well, one of the first things we tell people is just start with 5 or 10 minutes a day and play with it, right? You may be asking silly questions like, how do I, make mayonnaise or something like that. But then eventually you start learning the system and playing with it and getting going and get some tools. We have the free resource, and it will be how you can actually, there's 10 steps that will help you. If you know this process that AI goes through, there's 10 stages, and you go through that wheel, then you will be really efficient at asking the questions and being able to do the research. So just go ahead and ask for that. And the third thing that people want to know is, will I lose personal connection with my clients? Well, not unless you want to, right? See, it can actually get you closer. If you can get away and get through the minutia and the small things, then you can get to the really meaty things that really help a business scale. Because a lot of time people get stuck on these small levels, and we see it all the time. I'm like, gosh, hurry up and get through this and learn this, or hire somebody and pass it on so you can really escalate the growth of your company. So I see AI isn't the problem. The lack of a strategy is, right? And so it won't replace you unless you let it. And if you are not growing, like we talked about, if you're not expanding your mind, then sure, it could replace you. And how are you thinking about what else can I do to be different? What else can I do to get ahead? And if you imagine if you're always thinking like this, how far ahead you could get, right? But understand that it isn't a silver bullet. All right. And people always think, oh, it can do everything for me. Now, if you're trying to be lazy, if you're trying to stay in your own comfort zone, that's not going to work either. Right. So, and just adopting it to do all your marketing or your positioning or all your offers, that's okay. But where do you put these other things, right? How do you refine it with that human touch? And of course, um, the shiny object syndrome. That's a trap. A lot of people are hopping from one thing to the next, from one AI to the next. Oh, this tool is great. Oh, this tool is great. Oh, I'll get all of these tools and link them together. Well, if you want the right AI powered strategy, just go ahead and book a call with us. We'll hop on a call for 10 minutes. There's nothing to sell, nothing to buy, and find out exactly where you are. What do you need? What is the block that's holding you back with this? And where could you be outsourced? And where could you be possibly um, deplatformed, if you will, right? By AI, because it lives in these are all these platforms. And unless you own the platform, we've been talking about this for about 6 years, own the platform and then you're fine. But we don't, okay? And these things are coming out so quickly. If you are getting a little overwhelmed about it and how to do it, or you're just diving deep, but then you realize, I don't have a strategy with it. Okay, if you want to build an AI business, work with us and we'll show you how to build a business strategy with it. I was just talking with someone the other day. She's like, yes, I'm doing all this stuff. I said, but that's just a widget. It's just a commodity. It's a thing. If you are trying to build a business around an AI tool, you are going to be replaced. You have to understand the bigger, deeper strategy and objective behind it. And if you just need that little amount of clarity, it can move you miles ahead. And so when I finished working with her, she had a whole different perspective on her business. We went through an entire sales call and she realized, oh, I'm doing it all wrong. and is revamping her whole marketing strategy, keeping the same business model, but revamping the strategy, right? Because actually she didn't have one. So, how could this help you in your business? So, I want to end with these smart strategies that'll drive profit for you, right? How are you going to use this? So, think about it from an authority and thought leadership, right? You can work with it to support the insights that you have as you're positioning yourself. We talked about the research, right? Doing some higher level research that is a little bit more contrarian and another angle that maybe people aren't just assuming all the time, right? And helps you with rapid content generation, but not to replace the real authorities, right? So yes, you can create information, but again, don't cookie cutter it. Okay, that is the kiss of death because you can tell, right? We can all tell when we got an email from AI. I hope this email finds you well. Oh my God, please stop doing that. That's so obvious. And there's certain words that AI uses, certain writing formats, and you can tell this is AI. Nothing wrong with it. But if it's meant to be more personal, then you might want to add a little more human touch to it. Okay. And we use lots of AI in our business and for our clients, but only if we are objective about it and find that it does benefit rather than just add another thing onto the plate. Lead generation and client acquisition. That's important, right? How can you use this efficiently? A lot of people are doing this. This is one of the first things that people actually go to when they're trying to use AI and like, oh, they want to do the thing that they don't like the most, right? Is doing all the lead gen and creating content. Well, you can use it for emails. We have actually an email agency way before AI came out, and we do the emails for clients, right? Well, how could you use that for yourself? Predictive analysis, automated content, figuring out what needs to happen. Again, a little word of caution: don't do your AI like 6 months ahead. You might have seen that people are out there saying, oh, do a year or 6 months of content and you can just put it all up there. Well, be careful because you have to have content that's responsive to what the market is doing, right? So don't just think, I'm just going to do it all and then I can sit on the beach for a year. Doesn't work. Okay. Sounds great, but it doesn't work. So again, having that objective reality is important. And then scaling and efficiency. And this is what we love because we're all about growing and scaling businesses so that you can work less and have more of the free time and the fun and the family that you've probably been sacrificing. So using it to streamline your workflows and remember the days where we used to have to do spreadsheets by hand and things like that. That can all be much more efficient now. So you can grow a lot faster, learn things a lot faster, automating some of the repetitive tasks, not the ones that require unique service for your clients, and optimizing onboarding. That's really important. I'm teaching a class on Friday on how do you onboard your clients. And so imagine if you could use a lot of these tools to do that and then teach what you're doing to your clients. So if you want to learn more of these strategies, we do have a workshop. It's coming up on the 17th, and we do these on Tuesdays, and we do them live. So if you're in the local area, and then we're starting to grow these throughout the country. So if you're in our local area, we do these on Tuesday mornings and they're breakfast networking events. And if these strategies are interesting to you and you want to learn more, then come to one of those. So where should AI not replace humans? Well, one of the most important things to do in your business is to have a high ticket business, right? Unless you're Amazon or Walmart and you're trying to be commoditized and go really low ticket and you have a big, deep wallet, go high ticket, right? It'll distinguish you. You'll attract better people. So in high ticket sales and client relationships, don't do it, okay? Make that more personalized. And strategic leadership and your vision. Don't have AI give you your mission and vision and purpose. Come on, people, that is something you want to think about. That comes from your heart. I see people do it all the time. Oh, I wrote my mission statement. I'm like, no, AI wrote it. All right. Um, and the um, so make sure. I hope this is making sense. This one I want you to also screenshot, right? Because this is what you don't want to do. And then how are you going to build the culture of your team? What do you stand for? And how do you support your team? You can't have AI, um, you know, do their reviews or anything else. Okay. Um, so emotional intelligence is very important in the workplace, and AI doesn't have that down yet. Yes, they're saying, it's going to be sentient in a little while, but it's not, right? And keep in mind that 65% of the reason why people leave a company is because of their boss. And then if you just stick in a machine instead, what is that doing? What's that saying to your people? That you just don't really care. And people will go elsewhere and you will be left without any business. So, um, so what do you do now? What's the steps that you need to take to make all this work, and how do you put it all together? Okay. So what you want to do, first of all, is you want to audit your business and see where there's efficiencies that you can work on, and things that you can do without sacrificing any of that human connection. How can you use AI for profit-driven tasks? So, like we talked about, lead gen and content creation, data insights, scraping that you might do. What could you do there? Okay. Then look at resist chasing every AI trend and every AI tool. They all look fabulous, but every 3 months there's such a changeover. And you know what else happens is some of these companies cannot keep up, and you're seeing companies go out of business faster and faster. I don't buy anything on an annual basis with AI anymore because I don't know if it's going to be around, right? And so a new competitor is constantly knocking at the door of the existing tools and technologies. And stay ahead of the trends. Go to different events, come to our workshop and learn about all these AI strategies and processes so that you can actually stay ahead, ask the intelligent questions, integrate it in, and then teach it. Go out and use it. Help your audience stay ahead of the curve. If you don't keep your clients informed, somebody else will, and then soon they will pull the rug out from under you. It all starts, as they say, with a little tool that's like the gateway drug, and then they pull your whole client into their whole ecosystem. Be careful with AI, but it can be your friend, but don't let it steal your clients. So I hope this was helpful. Again, a couple things that we have for you. If you want the app, Tim, the Iconic Mind, this is your AI app to keep you accountable, help you with the soft skills, and with questions and strategies and just getting your mind to think, right? He literally talks to you. It's customized to you. And the more you work with Tim, we say 5 minutes every morning. It's like finally something good you can do with your phone. And you can use it as an app on your phone, or you can use it as an app on your computer. And it's an awesome tool, but it isn't contaminated with all the false information that I showed you earlier. So if you would love that, give me a thumbs up and let me know. We also have for you today the AI tool, the resource, so that you know how to actually work with it. What are the questions you need to ask in order to get the right answers back? And that's the AI book. So ask for that as well. And then if you do want to call with us, we would love to talk with you. So just go to callconnie.com and we will hop on a call with you. Take maybe 10 minutes and make sure that you get all of your questions and concerns answered. And then we can actually build an AI strategy out for you. Okay. So I hope you got some strategies out of this. Take at least one thing that you learned today about AI, whether it's how not to use it or about the research that we talked about and the high level questions that we talked about or strategy. Take one aspect and implement it, and then spend at least 5 or 10 minutes a day playing with the different tools and find one that's good for you. If you want our tool list of all the ones that we have, yes, it's a little bit of an addiction for me because I have to test it for everybody else. But I'm happy to share the tools and resources that we use. And so go ahead and subscribe here. Come back every Tuesday, and we will see you next week at 5 p.m. Be iconic.